Hello, this is Dual Personality. Today we're going to take a look at the new Kozmo cards. First up, we have Kozmo Dark Planet. Level 10, Dark Machine type, Effect Monster, Attack 4000, Defense 4000. Cannot be normal summon or set. Yeah, I could have told you that. Must be special summoned from your hand by banishing Kozmo monsters from your hand whose levels equal 10 or more and cannot be special summoned by other means. I already hate this. Cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Okay. During either player's turn, when a spell card is activated, you can banish one Kozmo monster in your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. This card is destroyed by battle or by a card effect and sent to the graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one level 9 or lower Kozmo monster from your deck to your hand. So, right off the bat, you have to go -2 at least just to summon this thing. You could technically banish one, like another one of these from your hand, but I mean, either way, it's really clunky just to summon. I mean, it's a big thing. 4,000, nothing's going to run over it ever. And you can't target it, though there's a lot of cards that don't need to target to remove. So this card isn't really immune to destruction. It's just harder to destroy. Let me see. The spell negation is strong, though you have to banish stuff, and, well, you're not going to have that much available in your graveyard to banish, so at any given time with the Cosmos, so you just kind of have to work with it. You're certainly not going to build the deck around this guy just to make that effect more efficient. And of course, it has the same thing the big Cosmos have, where if it's destroyed by battle, like that happens, or card effect, you can get a smaller one, which is pretty good considering the fact this is level 10. You can get anything in the deck. You can get Eclipser. You can get really anything. So that is a big deal for this card. I don't think this is going to see play, though. Kozmo is a really tight deck, and it's fun, and it really does well because it's a tight deck, because there's very little deviation, and the deck is just so consistent. This isn't consistent. This is a thing that gets negated every time. This is the thing that makes you go -3 if it's stopped. It's just, even the potential value it can give you isn't even that great. It's not that impressive of a card. It's cool they printed it, but it's not that good. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. Next up, we have Kozmo Dark Lady, level 5 Dark Psychic. Attack 22, defense 18. During the player's turn, you can banish this card, plus summon one level 6 or higher Kozmo monster from your hand. Like most Kozmo do, you can banish it, get one that's one level higher or more. You can only use this effect of Kozmo Dark Lady once per turn. Once per turn during either player's turn, when another monster's effect is activated, you can pay 1,000 life points, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy that monster. This is actually pretty decent. The level 5 means it's pretty easy to summon Kozmo. And spot negation is pretty sweet. It's not very clear if it needs to be a card on the field, though I don't know how relevant that is right now in the current meta, but nonetheless, this is pretty runnable. This is something they'll make space for. Unlike this, which you never make space for. This you'll totally make space for. I can see this being a common 1 of in Kozmo, maybe a 2 of. I doubt they're going to play 3 of these, though. It's good, but it gets run over by everything. It's more of a card that you kind of top your field off with as a kind of a security measure, and then it just gets killed first. Fine card, though. Next up, Kozmo Fearful Lion, level 2 light psychic type monster. Attack 1200, defense 500. Better be damn good with those stats. During either player's turn, you can banish this card, special summon one level 3 or higher Kozmo monster from your hand. Okay. You can use this effect. You can only use this effect Kozmo Fearful Lion once per turn. Once per turn, you can pay 500 LP. Then target 3 of your banished Kozmo monsters, return them to the graveyard, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Reminds me of Barbar, except it doesn't, like, instead of banishing them, you actually get stuff back. It doesn't put it in the deck, which is already a bad thing. It's not. It's actually. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you're really gonna make room for this. Like, Kozmo is on too short of a dual timer anyway, for where you're really gonna like do the strategic thing of shuffling stuff back with your lion. Like, it's not gonna happen. I believe you can use both effects though, so you can like do that and then use it to summon something, which I guess is kind of cool, but. Again, you have to target 3 specifically, so that's kind of a bummer too. It can target itself though if another copy is banished though. So I guess that's kind of cool. Probably not going to see play. It's not really good enough. The 500 doesn't matter, by the way. Does not matter. Kozmo continuous trap card. Monsters destroyed by Kozmo monsters you control are shuffled into the deck instead of being sent to the graveyard. Monsters destroyed by in battle. Sorry. You can banish this card from a graveyard. This turn, the first time you would take battle damage from an attack involving a Kozmo monster you control, you gain that much LP instead. Well, first of all, it's a continuous trap card. Continuous trap card is the worst card type in the game, more or less. So it's got to be really good. It's got to be like Call of the Haunted tier. This isn't Call of the Haunted tier. This is way too slow. It requires you to set up. It sometimes does nothing. It usually does nothing, I would say. It's not even like that great of like the first thing isn't even that big of an upside rather. The secondary effect is like okay. I mean, there's no way to really mill this efficiently. It's basically if this gets destroyed, it does another thing. So it's not complete trash, but it kind of is trash. Nobody will ever run this. This card is slow. The advantage isn't significant enough. Neither one is really. Yeah, bad card. Nobody will mourn this loss. And that brings us to all of the Kozmo cards. While we're here, we may as well look at the other two revealed cards. Cattle Calling, quick play spell card. Send one face that monster you control whose original type is Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast. What? It doesn't say to the graveyard. I assume that's to the graveyard. Special summon one monster with the same original type from your extra deck, but it cannot attack. Its effects are negated, and it is destroyed during the end phase. You can only activate one Cattle Calling per turn. Kind of an awkward card. Kind of like you get the instant fusion for anything, sort of, but you have to do a beast and it's a -2. I'm not sure. Oh, it's destroyed, so you can revive it. Well, no, you can't. Never mind. You can't revive anything you get off of this. I was thinking you get like Master of Oz and then like Ayers Rock Sunrise into it, but you can't do that. There's probably an application for this. I don't know offhand. You can overlay with this, I suppose. Get like a big thing, have a different card giving you a big thing, and then overlay the stuff, but that's not really worth it. Kind of like a toolbox card, kind of like that one card in Asceticism in Six Samurai, when you could like kind of convert your monsters, quote unquote. So it would allow you to like swap a beast or a beast warrior or winged beast for another one, but of a different level, and you could hopefully use that for some sort of utility. Otherwise, I don't know what you do with this card. There's probably a thing. I don't know offhand. I'll probably play around with this card a lot to figure something out. For the time being, I can't really give a good call on this. There's a lot of restrictions on it. It'd be cool if you tribute something of one of these types and then get any of the other types, like one of these for any one of those, instead of one of the exact same type. That's kind of restrictive. And I can't imagine it being broken if it could just be whatever type. And then, I can't attack or use the effect, which is also kind of devalues this. And you can only use one per turn, which is pretty much the norm on any card like this anymore. We'll see. I doubt this is going to be good. It's interesting, of course, but I can't see this being played. And finally, Kaiju X-Files, continuous spell card. Each time one of your Kaiju monsters are special summoned from the hand or graveyard, put one Kaiju counter on this card, max 5. Once per turn, you can target one Kaiju monster on the field, destroy it, and special summon one Kaiju monster from your deck with a different original name to it the control side of the field. You can send this card with 3 or more Kaiju counters to the graveyard, add one Kaiju spell or trap card from your deck to your hand, except Kaiju X-Files. This is decent. Kozmo Synergy, the Kaiju Synergy, rather, is alright. Will they run this? I'm not sure. I'm not that well versed in Kaiju. All it really does is, you can do the shuffle, which I suppose is decent. Kaiju already has a pretty respectable amount of search. I don't think they need another one, but it's fine. And then, of course, the ability to add another spell or trap is pretty respectable as well. Still needs experimentation, may or may not be good. I think this is on the upper end of being good. I don't know how many they'll run though, maybe 1 or 2. And I believe that brings us to the end Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. So I had finished recording that last segment, went back to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Organization homepage, and saw that this was also leaked. Way to prepare. This is apparently the final one in this block, unless they're lying to us, which I could see. So, Kozmo Walker, level 6? Yeah, level 6. Dark Machine, 2412. If one of your Kozmo cards would be destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can destroy a different Kozmo card you control instead. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can banish this card plus summon one level 5 or lower Kozmo monster from your deck. Is this really utility you want? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that utility, but do you really want to have this floaty 2400 card that can, like, redirect destruction? I can't imagine this being particularly good. As the author of this, Dan, has said, you can pop your field spell with it, which is, I think, a very valid thing in this card's corner. You don't have to pop another monster necessarily. You can pop your Cosmorning, but you're not going to be running that card, so it's not a factor. This card, there's nothing really wrong with this card. It's okay utility. I'd rather play that one other Kozmo one, the new one. I'd rather just play more of these than one of these, but this is fine. It might be a one of. I feel like there's better Kozmo cards that aren't run as it is, so I don't know if this is really going to find a place. Yeah, I don't think they're not going to run this. It's cool, though. Cool art. I kind of want a copy. And that being said, this is the actual end of the video. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot, and we'll see you next time.